Hello, everyone, and welcome to Money Matters. If you like making money and learning about crypto and investing, hit the subscribe button. If you enjoy the content, please hit the like button as well. Let's get going. This channel is dedicated and devoted to you and your financial freedom. Remember, as a disclaimer, this is not financial nor investment advice. I am not a personal finance advisor, so if you need one, check out the yellow pages. All right, let's take a look at the markets here real quick. Top 10 going in. Bitcoin has made a nice recovery after the long squeeze over the weekend. We've moved back into the mid-upper 50,000 mark, which is fantastic. I really like the Ethereum recovery getting up. I want to see it go back up into the high twos. 25 would be great to start. The altcoins have slowly start to follow back up. There's several that have made a lurch forward. And I'm hoping that within the next week to week and a half, we should be back to where we were before we had the correction on Sunday. In the news, China's central bank calls Bitcoin an investment alternative. Not surprising. China may be softening its tone on crypto assets. Almost 4 years after exacted a crackdown on Bitcoin, altcoins, and crypto exchanges, with encouraging remarks from Lai Bo, I hope, the new deputy governor of the Central People's Bank of China stated, "We regard Bitcoin and stablecoins as crypto assets. These are investment alternatives. They are not currencies per se. The main role we see for crypto assets going forward is as an investment alternative." It's very interesting how he stated that. I believe that the currency, quote currency, that they're going to be launching within China will be used specifically as a currency. I think that these comments were used to legitimize the currency that they're going to be proposing to the people of China. And they're trying to get some backing from the flow of the bull market right now worldwide so that it actually does coincide with what they're doing within their own country. Now, the ulterior motives that they may have, surveillance, control, that sort of thing, may or may not be behind it. I have my own thoughts and opinions, but it is a nice turn of events to actually at least acknowledge crypto assets and to make a public comment like that. It truly does reinforce what people have been thinking all along worldwide. So it was actually a good thing to hear. As I noted or alluded to earlier, a confirmation was made over the weekend, actually today, really over the weekend, that there was a long squeeze in the futures market. If you look in this Bybit chart, you can see this gigantic green candle, which was people predicting that the future of Bitcoin was going to be going sky high. And they were using leverage trading to really push up the dollar value that was in the market behind those basic bets. And they got caught. They got caught in a sell-off, and they were squeezed almost instantaneously, liquidating their accounts down. I think it was just over $10 billion, which is almost double what the previous record was back in February. And if you remember the drop in February, it was very similar to this. And if you take note, we'll probably be doing a video coming up where we can predict when these things are going to be happening by looking at how these markets or how these futures are trading to see when things like this are happening, so that we can do some preemptive risk management. You could take out a portion of your profits at that time and then move it back in once the price drops or something along those lines. But I found it to be very interesting that so many people got caught. I think that the hype and the FOMO around the price going up is just staggering over the past couple of weeks, and people really got caught up into it. So let's talk about what's next for Bitcoin. I put this chart in here because it's a very glaring graphic of what's happened in recent days. With the big drop that we've had, you can see that we've dropped below the floor that we had in, the floor support that we had in, which was established right around $60,000, which is painful at the time. But as you can see, we're kind of stabilizing and flailing back and forth between the mid 50s and upward 50s. I think we'll have some sideways action for a while, but it should be Bitcoin price should be moving up to the upside. I'm hoping to break through 60 over the next week or two. And once we go past 60, we'll have some sideways movement, and depending upon current events or sentiment within the market, we could start moving into new price discovery. If that starts to happen, if we hit some new all-time highs, I think that the price is going to jump very, very quickly, and we will start to see those 70s and 80s. Now, on the other side of the coin, don't be surprised if we see some sideways movements and then another correction down to, hold your breath, right around 40 grand. That on top of what we had Sunday would put us at a significant drop, significant enough to signal the final run for alt season. And this is, looking back in history over the past few bull runs that we've had. Typically Bitcoin makes a 30% or greater drop, then starts to retrace back up, at which time most of the altcoins take off and disconnect from Bitcoin, and the pricing just goes to the moon. So folks like myself who have rolled out of Bitcoin into altcoins for the alt season are really looking forward to that. And hopefully it'll be a little bit sooner than later. However, if the price wants to just grind up slowly, I think that the pricing could end up being higher overall for everybody, including Bitcoin. And don't fret, because once alt season is over, I'm a firm believer that with the institutional investing and the new focus that's on Bitcoin, we are not going to be looking at a long crypto bear winter like we have in the past. It'll be much more mild. And I don't think that we're going to see huge price drops. In fact, I think that over time, looking into the fall of 2021, we will see the price of Bitcoin head up over or around 150. So don't despair. This is only a short-term set of events. Again, comment below. Let me know where you think the price of Bitcoin's going and why. And also, if you're into altcoins, if you're holding some altcoins, mention which ones they are. I'd be interested to know. And if you'd like for me to talk about any ones in specific, I would love to. But I'd like to see what some of you are holding and what your thoughts are on the market and in the near future and the long-term goals. One other point I wanted to make here, and this is just touching on the Coinbase IPO from last week. It was exciting. I think that anytime a realm or industry or whatever you want to call it starts to spark into mainstream, it's an event. It's a huge event. It's a historical event. And the Coinbase IPO was historical. There's no two ways about it. It has floated cryptocurrency into the mainstream. Imagine, if you will, that Coinbase is bigger than the New York Stock Exchange and NASDAQ combined. That's mind-blowing. It's absolutely amazing. So it was nothing but a great thing for you and I, for crypto and the movement going forward, DeFi and the new world that we're going to be moving into. I just wanted to show that there was a lot of talk about, hey, should I buy into the IPO? The price is gonna go crazy. I'll make a ton of money. Well, everybody likes to think that, but I think it's 87% of the IPOs right after the initial launch, the price just plummets and crashes. If you don't believe me, go check it out. Do some research and look at some of these IPOs that have launched. It's devastating. And of course, this is no different. Since launch, the price just plummeted. So I threw up a list of the folks that I could find that were inside trading notifications, kind of who they were and what they sold and what they had left. There's only 2 on here that only have 0 left. Most everybody else just sold part of their shares and then kept others for the future. And what would you do? I'd like to know. I know what I would do. I would do the same thing. I would sell at least half of what I had, take the money and run. And then I do believe in Coinbase. I think it's going to be a great company. I don't think it's going to stay as it is. It will be changing, but I think it's going to be a big player for years and years to come. In fact, there was an interesting turn of events this weekend. I can't remember where the heck I was, but I was buying something online and I noticed one of the pay options was Coinbase Pay, which that was a new one on me. I didn't even know they had that service, but you can actually pay with the crypto in your Coinbase account. I thought that was just fascinating. So you can see they're branching off into other endeavors. And I think that that's just going to become standard with most of the crypto companies that are out there, whether it's the exchanges or some of the DeFi entities. It's going to happen. As we move into mainstream, more services are going to be offered. It's going to be easier for them. It's going to be vertical for them, and they'll make a ton of money doing it. Okay, let's take a look at summary. What have we talked about here? China gives prop to cryptocurrencies to bolster adoption of its forthcoming central cryptocurrency offering. It's good. It's good that they've changed their positioning. I don't know how good the currency is going to be for the Chinese people, and I certainly wholeheartedly 100% do not want any Chinese currency to become the value or the valued currency of the world, such as the US dollar is for the United States. But that may happen. I mean, it's a giant economic power. They control most of the manufacturing in the world. And unless we wrangle control back, they've got a lot of authority in that arena. So we'll see what happens. Future long squeezed and then liquidated. It's a telltale story that happens over and over again. You've heard about the short squeeze that happened with Wall Street bets for GameStop. This is just in reverse. So instead of shorting the stock, these people were betting long on the price of Bitcoin, and they got caught and they lost big. So do not, and this is not financial advice, but it's friendly advice. Do not leverage trade unless you really know what you're doing and you have money to throw out the window as you're driving down the road, because I'm telling you right now, it takes a matter of seconds to lose thousands of dollars. And if it's your hard-earned money, I think it'll be a lot harder to see fly out the window than you might imagine. It's happened to me, trust me, so it's not a good feeling at all. Coinbase is on track to recover and then on to discover. At least that's the predicted path right now. We don't really know. It could drop and start a reaccumulation phase and then move upward and onward. But I'm leaning heavily towards the fact that it's going to move above 60 and then back into price discovery. I think that that there's too much money on the sidelines getting ready to pour in. In fact, I imagine that there's quite a few people that have bought in on this juicy dip to make some profit as it moves forward. Coinbase IPO starts a new era of mainstream crypto and the minting of a few new wealthy individuals, which is great. My thought is to stay away from IPOs and the hype, at least in the beginning, and to wait for everything to settle down. If it's a company that you believe in, something that you think is going to make a difference in the world, like for me, I love innovation and the idea that Tesla's literally changing the world in so many ways. That's a company that I can get behind and believe in. So I definitely invest in Tesla, and so that's what I typically do. I wouldn't roll after an IPO. I'd wait for things to settle down, look at the company, how it's performing, and then slowly, cost back into it. Buy stock a little bit here and there so that your basis is averaged out and you can make some money long term. Watch out for scammers. They're out there. Be very, very careful. Spend a lot of time deleting comments from bots and different scammers. So just protect your personal identity and be safe. And remember, in closing, winners never quit and quitters never win. Always give your very best effort to overcome the challenges you face in life. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you tomorrow.